Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. It's Daniel here from the GeekSpeakNation channel. And I just want to give a little bit of context into the discussion that you're about to see. So when my friend John and I, we originally recorded this, we were very frustrated coming out of a game of Siege. So that kind of added that context of like where our mindset was right before we just started recording, because I was already recording prior, just some gameplay. But yeah, just to give some insight into where our mindset was, which leads into more of a rant style podcast, which we didn't plan. It was very impromptu. But yeah, number one thing is, I know we are very critical of Rainbow Six Siege in this video, but we're doing that out of a place of people who really love the game, and we definitely want to know what you guys think of the points that we bring up inside of the podcast. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think, and we appreciate your feedback. Have a great day. With automatic shotguns.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't even have to aim. That was just hip fire.
All right, John, you know what? Let's talk about this, John. Let's talk about this.
Let's make this podcast.
Let's make this a podcast at this point. All right, it's already recording. The steam's going through. Everything's coursing through my veins. Let me return to me.
Yeah, let's just record that clip.
All right, look, it's already recorded. Look, okay, so look. I've been playing this game since Operation Health. How long have you been playing this game, John?
Since Health, yeah, around that summer 2017.
Yeah, going in like and all that stuff. So, okay, this music is gonna bother me.
Yeah, just you
I'm just going back to my regular PSN. So we've been playing this game for a minute, and it's like we're not the best players in the world, and we completely understand that. And there's always room for improvement in the way we play. And it's like the number one thing that I normally can say that we love about this game is that we love the basic structure of what this game is, and its attack and defense, its repetition, and the way things are set up. We absolutely love it. But it's just the way things have progressed over the years have just been absolutely frustrating. Whether it's, issues with, glitches, cheating, things of that nature. I've played on a little bit on PC, but I mostly play on PlayStation. And between those types of things, and then also having issues with mouse and keyboard, the hit reg, the ping, all these things, it's so tiresome, and it just makes you just want to stop playing after a while. I don't know.
Definitely.
Because it's just like...
Definitely.
We've been through so many metas and seen so many ebbs and flows and ups and downs with the games and stuff like that. But it's just one of those things where it's just like, it feels like where the game is in its current state, like if you just don't adopt the current meta, you're just screwed. Like when Blitz got his buff, and he could, with his sprinting with his shield up and all that stuff, the Blitz rush meta and all that stuff became a thing. And, it used to be a time where it was like you could just adapt to what meta was going on, but you didn't have to go with that flow in order to actually have fun with the game. But now it feels like it's at this point where it's just like, oh, sorry, looks like you just gotta go with the flow or not play the game at all. Because it's just like, man, this game is just currently catering to whatever the meta is right now. And this rush shotgun, bring Finka, Blitz, Ash meta is so frustrating. Bring Dokkaebi. It's just like, oh my god, it's absolutely frustrating.
I would say, there's 46 operators in the game right now. And I think at this point, everything just feels really frantic. And it's just aggravating. There's a lot of issues on console that are getting, especially PlayStation, with mouse and keyboard that are just starting to really bleed into the experience of the game. And they didn't used to do that. The other night we were playing, you might have a clip of it, but someone you were like in like
when
a
the guy was
side
passing the
class.
wall. Yeah, so we were
Yeah, and
in
this guy.
Cafe Dostoevsky, and I was the last one alive, and I was inside of the laundry room, and I'm tucked away in the corner, and it's like you can't really see me, and you see the guy's focus is going the opposite way, going up the staircase, but then he just immediately backs up, blocks under my head, and shoots me in the head.
Yeah, it
just
was.
I don't know, man. It's one of those things, like the issue with like mouse and keyboard on console is like it's so frustrating because you're a lot of people will look at footage and just be like, he just has a high sensitivity. That's why it looks like it. You're just a scrub who needs to get good. And it's like, yes, I am a scrub that needs to get good. However, I can notice very clearly when people are obviously abusing using mouse and keyboard, and they really shouldn't be. And it's just so frustrating that it's like you're dealing with a situation that's only gotten worse, and there's nothing that Ubisoft plans to do about it. They don't plan on putting these guys in separate servers. They can't put out updates to try to patch out people playing mouse and keyboard. It's just at this point where it's just like, if you guys aren't going to invest in doing something to help out what's your largest player base of your community, it's just like, what are we supposed to do at this point besides drop the game?
Yeah.
Because it's just getting more and more frustrating. And it's like, I completely understand that, like, you get you only take your feedback from the top whatever percent it is who are like diamond and ranked players and stuff like that, and pro league players. That's the only place you get your input from. But it's just, it doesn't always correctly apply to console. Like, especially when you looked at like the recoil on Kaid's shotgun slug marksman rifle, sniper rifle, whatever it was. Like, that gun is completely different on PC as it is compared to console. And it's just like hit registration on like drones and stuff like that. It's harder to hit drones on console. Like, there's just a lot of things that's like, maybe there should be more consideration for how things are balanced for console as compared to how things are balanced for PC. And it's just, man, it's just so frustrating at this point trying to keep on with this game, because it's just like, I love this game.
There's so much going on. It's, as I said, it's very frantic. It feels like, especially playing defense.
Yeah.
Seems like there's just so much that can come at you at one time, and you're just sort of like, I think, at least for me, I think I can speak to us when I say, like, it feels like there's not much you can do to counter what's happening.
Especially like gridlock is ridiculous. Nomad's
gridlock,
ridiculous.
Yeah, that was one of the first things I kind of remarked to myself was man, that's a really interesting operator, because they can just throw these spikes into the objective.
There's a canister the size of a Gatorade bottle that produces spikes that could cover up like the Golden Gate Bridge. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I guess I'm fine with the concept, but like, if it didn't cover as much of the of a surface area, I'd be more fine with it. And in that regard, it's like that's the problem with a lot of the gadgets that they end up introducing with a lot of these characters, is like, not all of these gadgets you can modify them or tweak them that much before they're either useless or overpowered. Like, you're looking at Kaid and stuff like that, and we're like, maybe, I don't know, maybe he needs 2, maybe he needs 3, things of that nature. Nomad, like, you can only do so much to like increase the amount of time that it takes for those things to go off before people can just walk past them. Or if you decrease the effect of people being knocked down, then what's the point of having them besides them being a obnoxious alarm system and stuff like that? It's, I don't know, man. And it's like, I acknowledge the fact that we are most of the time like at a disadvantage because we don't have a full team. But even at the times that we did have a full team, and it was a group of people who were just trying their best, it was still a frustrating situation, because a lot of the losses were not just skill based, which we can completely recognize and admit that skill wise we are obviously not the best players in the world. We're a couple of casuals who put in try hard hours. But exactly. But it's just like, I want to enjoy the game more, but it's just the current state that it's in is just so frustrating to try to get on right now, specifically for console.
No, I completely agree. It's it's pretty annoying, and I'm at a loss for words because I used to enjoy this game so much,
Yeah.
and it seems like just for I think players around our skill level that we hover between the upper silvers and the low golds. I just feel like lately there's very little that we can do to make our experience better right now.
Yeah, because it's like, and it's also like the toxicity of the community is is at a fever pitch to the point where it's just like there's no point of even trying to queue up in casual. Like when you got on, I was just like,
trolling.
yeah, dude, let's just hop into rank. There's nothing else we can do because casual is just a cesspool. Yeah,
Especially on our console, you need um you need to just not do it. If you're playing on console, you need to go to ranked. If you play casual, you're gonna get team killed. You're gonna get hurt. All this other stuff. It's not
and
really
it's
worth
like
it.
I don't know. Like I also want to know like the casual perspective of this game. Like what is it like from a casual's perspective of someone who's new to the game as of like last Christmas and stuff like that. Like I just don't understand how you could stick with this game because it's like it's or like entry level wise, like it's already the skill gap you already have to do with, you know, making sure you're getting really good with aiming, no aim assist, all that stuff, learning the recoil, learning the operator gadgets, but also learning the map knowledge, trying to deal with a toxic community that literally punishes you for every single mistake that you make. It's just like, I don't know, man. It's just not that appealing right now. And it's like, I guess you can make the argument, well, it's like, well, the game's in its fourth year. They don't have to appeal to casuals anymore. It's like, I guess, sure. But
I think
money-wise,
to expand your player base.
yeah.
No, definitely.
Because to me, it's like...
There's other things with certain operators. No, finish your point before I get to mine.
No, I was just going to say, like, I feel like when it comes to games like this, it's different than, like, a fighting game. So, like, with Mortal Kombat, right, you know, 90% of the people who play that game are going to be casuals who will drop the game in, like, a month and a half, 2 months, and then just come back when new characters come out. But then it's like... And then, like, the real player base who sticks around is going to be your pro players and things of that nature, or your really, really try-hard people. But it's like, I feel like there's a very strong community of people where it almost feels like a 50-50 split of people who are casually into this game and then people who are try-harding and then people who are trying to go for pro league type stuff. Like, I wanted to get good to the point where we could try going for league type stuff in PlayStation. But it's just like... the way that the game is being handled right now, its current state is just not fun. It's just not fun at all now. So, but yeah, I just wanted to say that it's like the casual experience is a big part of the experience for a lot of us as well. And I feel like that gets overlooked a lot. But yeah, what was your point you were about to make, John?
I was going to say that another thing that's been really bugging with operators that have been for the game recently are just not, I don't think they're conducive to an enjoyable play experience. Like with when Maverick got released, I was kind of like, oh, dude's got a pin that just kind of
opens
or a special ability that just kind of is completely silent. There's no counter for it. You can make kill holes. And
so like, because that was my problem was like with Maverick, I was just like, I love his character, I really do, but it's just there's so many flaws of like getting killed by like Maverick oftentimes is almost as frustrating by getting killed by like Blitz, because like you'll be playing the game or whatever and it's just like, and then it's just like, oh, kill cam, and it's like, oh, you didn't see that 1/4 centimeter of a hole that Maverick opened up and shot you in the head through?
Yeah,
because he was upside down and there's no way you could have got a shot on him from outside. And it's just like, and it's also another example of that thing of like, well, there's only but so much you can do to balance it, because if you make it too loud and then it's completely useless, everybody knows where Maverick's coming from, and then you just gotta assault him. And then the other part of it is like, well, if you do too much less, he'll be as overpowered as he was when he was in the test servers and when he first launched, where you could barely hear him. It really felt like it, even with a headset on.
Yeah.
But no, I agree with your point, though.
That's part of the biggest problem I have with the game right now. It's getting to a point where there's so many operators that you can't. They don't all have counters, and that's really important. Is that there's at least some sort of discernible counter to a playable operator. It seems like now, if you get a team of whatever 5 operators, make your pick, and you don't have a counter to one of the 5 operators on the opposing team, it just seems like you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, I agree. So, I don't know, man. I really want to hear from like the major like casual players, the mid to low ranking players in Rainbow Six Siege. I really want to hear like what their perspective is of like people who've been with this game for a long time, but have just not really spoken up about their experience. Because it's like all the time, like I said, like you're always gonna hear feedback from like the diamond ranked players, the pro league players, because that's who Ubisoft listens to. They're not gonna listen to Daniel and John. They're gonna listen to Daniel and John shooting the poo on PSN, trying to talk about how frustrating it is with the game, even though our opinions, I feel like, will never matter at all whatsoever in the grand scheme of things when it comes to Rainbow Six Siege.
No.
So
no.
I don't know, because it's like I understand, there's insight that, people with a higher capability at a game will have at it as compared to other people who are casuals, and they'll have perspectives and input that are really going to make a difference in like the overall like longevity of like the game and stuff like that. But it's just like, man, I just want them to delete Pulse from the game.
I would like to know, because I have a list of the operators. If we start at Operation Health, so who got released in Operation Health?
Who got what? No one did.
What was the most recent expansion before that?
It was the one where Hibana and them first came out at, because then after that was Velvet Shell.
Yeah.
I think, with Jackal and Mira.
Yeah. So
but Operation Health was, I think, 3.5 months of no characters. I can't remember. It's been so long.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna look back then from Operation Health on. So Jackal, Mira, I think both two pretty good operators that didn't really shake up the game in any huge way. Jackal was a little bit weird.
You know my stance on characters that can see through walls.
But Jackal can't necessarily see through walls. He gets a ping on you.
He gets a ping. He gets a ping. It's still frustrating.
And he's been tweaked since then. I think where he's at now is pretty good.
He's also in that boat of there's nothing else you can do to him without making him overpowered.
Ying and Legion, I like. I don't think they shook up the game too much. I think Ying's ability is good. It's very balanced. I think Legion's ability is very balanced.
I think Legion's like
if it's perfect. A one-on-one,
which is
I think it's
for someone who has
Zofia
an invisible gadget. Like yeah.
And then you look at Zofia and Ella again, 2 operators that pretty balanced.
They're both actually 2 operators who I feel like got nerfed a little too hard, actually.
In what ways?
Well, so like with Ella, as everyone knows, the terror of Ella was something fierce when the game first started. But as things progress and stuff like that, I mean, they nerfed the heck out of her. The recall on her guns, reducing the number of gadgets she had and stuff like that. So now she's kind of in this weird spot where it's like, do you give her a buff to up her pick rate? But at the same time, it's like, I think we all have those Vietnam flashbacks of what it was like when Ella was running stuff. So maybe not. And then you also have with Zofia. I thought Zofia was perfectly fine, but then they took away like a butt ton of her ordinances, so she only has 2 of the booming bangers and then 2 of the sticky flashes. So or elemines, if you will. But I like my name better.
And then we look at Dokkaebi and Vigil, who I think at first Dokkaebi took some getting used to, but she's been I think a pretty welcome operator to the game. I mean,
yeah,
I personally really enjoy it. I don't have much problem with her. I think she's.
I like the new counters that they added because in the last match we just had, it actually worked where Dokubi's call was going off, but I walked through my mute jammer and it turned it off instantly. So that was really, really awesome, and I did appreciate that. So I do like those little buffs on there and things of that nature.
Okay, and then this is where I think shit starts getting weird. Lion and Finka, who were pretty much just released for that zombies game.
Yeah.
And to me, that just felt kind of like a slap in the face. It was like, I mean, Finka is still used, but let's be honest.
Yeah.
Her ability is it's not that great.
Yeah.
It's the amount of times that you actually get a boost, I think, when you're hitting an objective is kind of low. I don't know.
It's one of those things where
think
it's like, if you're coordinating right, Finka can be really, really useful. And it's like, as time has gone on, I don't agree with all the buffs that they've given Finka, like giving her hand grenades and things of that nature. I didn't agree with that, and then like messing around a bit with the health boost ability. But yeah, her semi shotguns, it's such a problem right now.
The semi shotguns are a big problem right now for in the meta. And then so Lion came out with her, who again he was just kind of used very temporarily. He's got his in my last few months of playing, I think his pick rate is very low.
Yeah.
And then Maestro and Alibi came out after that, who were kind of insignificant, I think, to the total meta of the game. But I want to note, though, this period, I think, between Lion and Finka coming out, and actually, I would say between Ying and Legion coming out, and then right before Maverick and Clash came out, that was a pretty solid period of the game.
Yeah.
Where they were releasing operators that weren't crazily affecting the meta too much. And it felt like it was just a very stable iteration of the game.
Yeah.
And that was pretty good. That was a pretty extended period of stability, I think. But now we've come to this point where every time I play, I think, man, we need a new.
Yeah.
Because Maverick and Clash came out. I mean, I feel about Clash. I don't really like it.
Yeah. And just
Maverick
clear, I think the audio cut out for a second because I had to mess around with some settings.
Did it?
Yeah, but yeah, you said we need a new Operation Health, and I do feel that in a lot of ways. It does feel like we need an Operation Health Part 2 because some of this stuff is just
balance.
Like, oh yeah, because it's like you got bugs that have been in for years, man. It was just like, bro, it's time to get this stuff out of here, man.
And then so after Maverick and Clash came out, I just want to finish this little rundown because we're almost done with the current operators. Nomad and Kaid, who, I mean, Nomad's ability is good. I like it, but I think it's more as much as I like it and I like playing with it. To me it's more annoying than anything, especially when you're on defense. The current meta is take away the defender's ability to retake a site.
Yeah.
And that's a really crucial aspect of the game, I feel, is the ability of even if they plant it or they're going for the hostage, just trying to retake that area. And right
trying
now,
to retake that with Gridlock and Nomad as existing operators.
Yeah, the attackers have a really big advantage right now in terms of what they can do
get that plant down,
to prevent a retake. Because it seems like a lot of time now, once you get a plant,
it's basically a game set match at that point. But yeah, like I like Kaid though. I'm not a big fan of his guns on console.
No.
The AUG is unfortunately the one you have to pick over the slug shotgun just because the recoil is still absolute piss. But I still like the idea of having a bandit for hatches. But I truly think that they did him a disservice by taking away his third electric claw before he got released out of the technical test server. I really think they did a disservice.
Only having two of them really makes him feel limited. And although they can cover more area than like one of Bandit's electric things, the special batteries, he still just feels like a cheap knockoff. And the game's been in this weird spot where like now Now Bandit's pick rate is really low.
Yeah.
Kaid's pick rate is really low as well. And I just, I don't know. Seems like Mute is kind of doing both of their jobs and doing it better than they are. So
shout out to Mute, man. Mute's just the GOAT, dude. As soon as they gave him that SMG 11, he and I have been like peanut butter and jelly, and I've loved it. I love Mute with the SMG 11.
He's sort of survived in a way all these operations and all these different iterations of the game. But that's what I will kind of nod my cap in that sense, is that the developers have done a good job of keeping the base game operators relevant and crucial. You know, I still play Thatcher all the time. Still play Mute, Castle, all those.
Yeah, because I really don't think there's like a power creep situation in the game where it's like the new operators are actually secretly so powerful that they end up making the older operators obsolete. Like, there's still a lot of situations where like we'd still bring Sledge instead of Buck. You know, especially Peter would do that. You know.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it just seemed like the Nomad Kaid was an indicator to me that this new sort of meta was in place, that they're gonna it's a very attack friendly meta right now, and that's not great. I think with any meta it's never going to be perfectly balanced, but you need to give some sort of advantage to the defenders in certain situations. But I think another thing that's really important is it seems like now it's whoever gets like the first couple kills. Yeah, it seems like if you're in a 5 versus 3 situation right now, you're pretty much gonna lose. I don't think there's a lot of coming back, even though you've got worse numbers.
I don't know. It really, I think with that, it's more so. It really is a case by case basis. Because I mean, I'd say with this current meta, yeah, I'm a little more inclined to say that. But I'd say like over the previous seasons, I mean, you and I, we've made some clutches. We've done some
we definitely have
stuff.
We definitely have, but I feel like now the state the game is in right now, it feels like
the room for error is at an all-time low.
There's not a lot of room for error, which I get. I understand that's sort of what you want out of the game, but still, it's a little frustrating when one of your teammates gets hurt and then gets killed rather. Sorry. And then it's like, oh, I don't know what options I have right now. So then after Nomad Kaid, we've got Mozzie Gridlock, and we haven't really talked about Mozzie that much. But his ability seemed interesting when it first was released, but now it proved to be kind of lame.
It's a bit lackluster. I think it's one of those things where you got to give it time for people to fully develop out like just how effective it can be. But at first I was really worried about Mozzie's release because I was worried like as attackers you only have but so many tools during that prep phase and that initial run of trying to get into the building. And I was really worried about losing some of that or things being taken away. But I do have to say, though, I think they did strike a pretty good balance. And, it's pretty obvious when Mozzie's gadgets are around. But it's easy to slip up that 1 second and then, boom, he's got your drone. I think his guns are fun. I think he's a fun operator overall. Competitively, I don't see it being that viable. Because it's kind of like a stroke of luck if you kind of end up really getting a drone in some cases if you're just leaving it out. And then it's just a matter of just good aim for if you're shooting your captures at drones. But nevertheless, I still think that there's still room there for him to grow as an operator and try to find more usefulness inside of what the game's current state is. But, I'm just hoping for better, man. Just hoping for better from him. But
yeah,
Gridlock, I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of Gridlock.
No, Gridlock is very much.
It's problematic.
If you're attacking, it's like Gridlock is going to get picked. 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. But like I said,
So,
we definitely want to hear what other people feel, as it's like
well,
you
they
really don't get
created
that much exposure.
no, they created the new what is it? The new playlist for people under rank level 30, or maybe it was under level 50.
I feel so
But
bad for those kids. They're gonna face nothing
yeah,
but
'cause they're just
Smurfs.
gonna get smurfed.
Nothing but Smurfs in secondary accounts. Oh god, those
Yeah,
poor kids.
that's pretty much what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, John. I mean, any other closing notes, man? Anything else you want to say?
I'm sure there's more stuff about the game that frustrates me right now, but
You just want
is
to
there
stop
anything else
ranting.
you wanna say about it?
I mean,
'Cause
I think the last thing I want to say is like, I really do love Rainbow Six Siege and the way it's designed, and at the end of the day, I just want what's best for the game and what's best for the overall player base, and I would absolutely love more consideration for the casual fan base, and then also just more consideration about where the current state of the game is and what it's heading towards, and just how it's just there's a lot of unbalance and there's a lot of just emphasis on very frustrating gameplays and metas and things of that nature. I know they're fixing Lion. I know they're, making fixes to things like that. They fix the crouch spamming and all that jazz. But it's just hacking is a real issue. Mouse and keyboard is a real issue.
I think if there's
toxicity
one
is a
thing
real
I'd like
issue.
to say, it's that I think if there's a word to describe the game right now, I'd say it's overdeveloped.
How so?
And I think for that basic, with just the amount of operators and the amount of, I think you can even see it in the map that just got released, Outback, how there's so much going on in the map. It seems like it's set up for different styles of combat, and the game, I'd say right now, because of the amount of just stuff that's in it, it just feels clunky, and it doesn't feel like there's a lot of continuity. And I think you're right. When it comes to people of our level, where we're not incredibly serious about the game, but when we play, like, we want to win, we coordinate, we take it serious to a certain degree. It's frustrating for us. And I think there's a lot of other people in our position who are probably frustrated by it, because I remember just a few months ago we were really playing this game. So,
because I remember
and it is the premier. I think it is right now the premier competitive shooting game.
Yeah, because we tried Apex.
So that's kind of
to try to take a break from this game, and
yeah.
I hated it. I absolutely hated it. Oh my god, I hated it so much. I just want to say it, John. My god, I hated Apex.
I want to emphasize that I mean, like, games that you actually have to strategize for. Like, it's sort of coming into that range where, like, Counter-Strike was a few years ago. So I think that's kind of it for now. Maybe we'll just see how we're feeling in a few weeks. But if we could do this bi-weekly or something, I'd be
that'd be
very
pretty
happy
cool.
with that.
So, a little bit of an inception moment, because I'm gonna have a little clip in the beginning. But yeah, so I think I came up with a name for the podcast. So,
Came up with a what?
name for the podcast:
Okay.
Casuals at Play. The Casuals at Play podcast.
Casuals at Play.
There we go. I think we got a name of something right
That's
there.
great. No, I like that.
But yeah,
I like
no,
that.
like
we could do that.
No, what are you saying?
I was saying we could do that maybe every couple weeks.
Yeah. See how it goes.
Write some stuff down about how we feel about it. Get some notes prepared, because I'm sure that's going to come out very rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'll definitely be down to prepare some sort of talking points and just things to, things to go off of. But yeah. Anyway, man, I'm done talking about Siege for the night.
Right on.